Between mountains and a shimmering sea lies a land where light dances on water and stone remembers the footsteps of centuries. Croatia. Here, nature and history are entwined. Cities rise from marble and fortress walls, while rivers carve emerald valleys inland. Over 1,000 islands dot the Adriatic like pearls, each with its own story, each with its own rhythm of life. This is a journey through Croatia's treasures, from the sunlit walls of Dubrovnik to the cascading waterfalls of Plitvice, from hidden island coves to ancient hilltop towns. A journey into a country where wonders, both famous and forgotten, await at every turn. Our story begins in the south, in the city known as the Pearl of the Adriatic, Dubrovnik. Encircled by mighty medieval walls, Dubrovnik's old town is a masterpiece of stone. Marble streets shine like glass beneath red-tiled roofs, where Baroque churches and Renaissance palaces rise against a backdrop of the endless sea. The Stradun, the city's grand promenade, echoes with footsteps of travelers and locals alike. But at dawn, before the crowds, it glows in silence when swallows swoop low and church bells call the day awake. From the ramparts, the sea stretches wide, scattered with islands. Lokrum, green and quiet, just offshore. The Elafity Islands further beyond, a chain of sandy bays and sleepy villages, each touched by sun and salt. South of Dubrovnik lies Coftat, a quieter harbor town where pine forests reach into the sea and life flows at an easier rhythm. Fishermen mend their nets by the quay, while locals sip coffee in the shade of stone villas. Sailing westward, you reach Maliet half covered in dense forest, half soaked in myth. Its national park is a sanctuary of pine and water, where saltwater lakes shimmer in shades of turquoise and green. On a small islet, a Benedictine monastery floats like a vision from another time. Myths say Odysseus himself found refuge here, in a cave carved into the cliffs. Further north rises Korčula, an island of legends, wine, and sword dances. Its old town is shaped like a fishbone, a clever design to protect from winds. Stone lanes spiral inward to the cathedral, and from its bell tower, the view stretches over vineyards, olive groves, and the Pelješac Peninsula across the sea. In Korčula, the past still breathes in the chivalric Moreška sword dance, in the taste of Greek wine, in the echo of waves against the walls of Marco Polo's birthplace. Northward lies Split, where the spirit of an empire still lingers. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the Roman Emperor Diocletian built his palace here, a monumental residence of marble and columns. Today, Split is built within those ancient walls. Cafes, markets, homes, and shops spill into Roman courtyards, where sphinxes from Egypt guard time-worn gates. The Riva, Split's seaside promenade, is alive day and night. Ferries depart for islands, fishermen return with their catch, and locals stroll under palm trees as music drifts through the air. Across the channel from Split lies Brač, a rugged island of stone and pine forests. Here, the land is shaped by quarries that gave marble-white stone to cathedrals and palaces across the Adriatic. Brač is also home to Zlatni Rat, Croatia's most famous beach, a golden tongue of pebbles that shifts shape with the wind and tide. Away from the coast, mountain trails climb to Vedova Gora, the highest island peak in the Adriatic, where the views stretch endlessly over sea and islands. south of Brač, the island of Hvar rises a place of history and glitz. Its old town glows with Venetian palaces, medieval fortresses, and a harbor that once welcomed traders from across the Mediterranean. Today, it welcomes yachts and travelers seeking both glamour and tradition. Lavender fields scent the air, vineyards line the hillsides, and at night, Hvar's squares and promenades come alive with music, lights, and laughter. A short journey west, Trogir sits like a jewel on its own small island. Medieval streets weave a labyrinth of stone where Venetian palaces, Romanesque churches, and Renaissance loggias all stand side by side. Trogir is a living museum, yet still a town of laughter, markets, and the scent of grilled fish carried on the breeze. Further north still is Šibenik, Croatia's oldest native city. Less polished than Dubrovnik or Split, it reveals its beauty slowly. Narrow lanes climb steeply toward fortresses that crown the hills. At its heart, the Cathedral of St. James rises, a UNESCO masterpiece of Gothic and Renaissance, built entirely of stone without a single brick or beam of wood. Šibenik is a city of resilience, shaped by the sea, the river Krka, and centuries of battles and rebirths. Beyond Šibenik, the Krka River carves its way inland, tumbling through canyons and forests. Here, nature speaks in the language of waterfalls. At Skredinsky Brook, water cascades in wide, foaming tiers, rushing over travertine ledges into emerald pools. Boardwalks wind through shaded groves, where the sound of rushing water fills the air. Upstream, monasteries rest on river islands, their stone walls wrapped in silence. Hidden trails lead to smaller falls, to old watermills, to places where dragonflies hover over lily-covered streams. Krka is a river of both beauty and history, once a source of power for ancient mills, later harnessed as one of the first places in the world to light a city with hydroelectric energy. Traveling north, the coast grows wilder. Zadar stands where Roman forums meet medieval towers and modern art. At its edge, the sea organ turns waves into music, and the greeting to the sun transforms sunsets into light. Here, history and innovation meet on the shore. Off the coast lies the Kornati archipelago, a labyrinth of over 100 islands, bare and rocky, scattered like white pebbles in a sapphire sea. Sailors call it heaven, and it is best discovered by boat, weaving between islets where cliffs plunge into crystal depths. At the southern edge, the Telašćica Nature Park opens like a secret gate, a vast bay sheltered by soaring white cliffs that rise more than 150 meters straight from the sea. Just inland lies Lake Mir, a saltwater lagoon cut off from the open Adriatic, its waters warmer and heavier, changing colors with the light. To the north, the island of Pag appears barren at first sight, a landscape of stone and wind. Yet it holds treasures, the intricate lacework of Pag lace, crafted by patient hands, the bold flavors of Pag cheese, aged with salt and herbs carried by the Bura wind. Beneath its ruggedness, Pag hides quiet coves and a culture as resilient as its land. In Kvarner Bay, the islands change again. Cres rises steep and wild, its cliffs home to rare griffin vultures that soar high above the sea. Its villages cling to hillsides, and hidden beaches wait at the end of winding paths. Rab is its softer twin, an island of sandy beaches, medieval towers, and forests scented with pine. In its old town, 4 slender bell towers stand like sentinels above terracotta roofs. Lashen, the island of vitality, is known for its fragrant herbs and dolphins that swim in its waters. Once a retreat for aristocrats and explorers, today it is a place of healing air and endless horizons. Northward, the coast bends into Istria, a heart-shaped peninsula of vineyards, olive groves, and Venetian echoes. Roven rises like a vision from the sea, its pastel houses tumbling down a hill crowned by the Church of St. Euphemia. Narrow lanes lead to hidden courtyards, galleries, and taverns where fresh seafood is served with local Malvasia wine. Along the coast, Pula preserves one of the best preserved Roman amphitheaters in the world. Here, gladiators once fought, and today concerts echo under the same ancient arches. Inland, hilltop towns like Motovan and Hum tell stories of stone walls and truffle-scented forests. At sunrise, valleys fill with mist, and the towns appear like islands floating in a sea of clouds. Plitvice Lakes, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a kingdom of water and wood. 16 lakes cascade into one another, connected by countless waterfalls. Wooden boardwalks lead through forests where moss glows green and water whispers everywhere. In winter, waterfalls freeze into crystal curtains. In autumn, the forest burns with gold and red. In summer, the lakes glow turquoise beneath the sunday. Elsewhere, rivers like the Cetina, Mreznica, and Zrmanja carve deep canyons and emerald valleys. Along their banks, ancient mills, stone bridges, and small villages keep traditions alive. For adventurers, these rivers offer rafting, canyoning, and the thrill of swimming in waters clear as glass. Above the rivers rise mountains wild, untamed, and timeless. Velebit, the largest mountain range in Croatia, is both a natural border and a realm of legends. Its limestone cliffs and deep forests are a sanctuary for lynx, wolves, and bears, elusive guardians of the wilderness. The trails of Velebit lead through flower-strewn meadows, across windswept ridges, and into caves where the earth itself seems alive. Further north lies Risnjak National Park, a kingdom of dense forests where the lynx Rise in Croatian still roams. From its peaks, the view stretches from the Alps to the Adriatic, a reminder of Croatia's place at the crossroads of continents. These mountains are a living wilderness, a reminder that true silence and wildness still exist in Europe. Beyond the mountains, the land softens into the wide plains of northern Croatia, where rivers meander slowly and towns rise in elegance. Here stands Varaždin, once the capital of Croatia, a Baroque city of palaces, gardens, and music. Its old town glows with pastel facades, quiet courtyards, and the spirit of festivals that fill the streets with song. Nearby, the castle of Trakošćan sits above a forested lake like something from a fairy tale. White walls and tall towers reflect in the still water, guarding stories of knights and noble families. In Đurđevac, the red brick fortress rises above the plains, where legends of battles with the Ottoman Turks live on in folklore and festivals. These towns and castles remind us that Croatia is not only a land of coast and islands, but also of cultured cities and historic heartlands. But Croatia's wonders are not only in landscapes, they are in the way of life. In stone villages where grandmothers still make pasta by hand, in olive groves where trees are older than empires, in vineyards where sun and sea shape the taste of wine. There are festivals where towns come alive with music, sword dances, and costumes that echo centuries of tradition. Markets filled with figs, honey, lavender, and fresh fish from the morning catch. Tables where grilled squid, black risotto, truffles, and roasted lamb are shared with laughter and wine. Here, culture is lived slowly, close to the land and sea. Croatia is a land of stone and water, of islands and rivers, of cities that shine like jewels along the Adriatic. A land where history lingers in every square and where nature still reigns in waterfalls, forests, and skies full of stars. It is a place to wander without hurry, to breathe deeply, to listen to the sea against the walls of ancient towns. This is Croatia, timeless, enchanting, waiting to be discovered again and again